chambered for the .357 Magnum and capable of .38 Special as well. Smith & Wesson's L-frame model 686 is one of those revolvers any person can shoot regardless one's experience with firearms. Offered in the barrel lengths of 2.5 through 8 3/4 inches, I'm positive there's an ideal variant for every shooter. Even when firing standard Magnum cartridges, the 686, in the 6-inch barrel length anyway, is easy to handle. However, when I was shooting these Spirit Gold Dots, I was pleasantly surprised how much more of a punch they had. In fact, one of the RSOs was surprised when I said this was .357. He thought I was shooting my Desert Eagle. They did have a much more stout report, which was the reason I didn't have any muzzle shots. I did not want to risk the possibility of shattering the lens from concussion. Whether or not that would have occurred, I have no idea, but I wanted to avoid it just in case. As you can see, .38 Special is much tamer and makes a revolver of this size easier for new shooters to handle. Let's take it apart real quick, shall we? First, of course, make sure the firearm is empty. Then flip it over and using the correct size bit, remove this screw and proceed to open the cylinder to remove the entire assembly from the gun. Remember to clean the cylinder face and around the forcing cone after extensive shooting, as I've seen these particular locations neglected by numerous people. I think it's cool to have just a 686 considering they're up to the .6. How about we strip this revolver to its frame? Upon doing this, I concluded without a second guess the previous owner, or owners, rarely, if ever, remove the side plate to perform a thorough cleaning. Years of fouling, old grease, and even some rust cover the internal components. As I've said to many people, revolvers are simple externally. Internally, however, there are more than a few moving parts. One issue I've had with this 686 was the occasional double-action light primer strike. The primer is not struck hard enough to detonate it and ignite the powder in the casing. I installed a new trigger and hammer spring to see if that solved the problem. So far it has. Full disclosure, I never claim to know the name of each component you see here. This being the second time I have ever detail stripped a revolver, I executed this task with help from other YouTube videos for Disassembly and Reassembly. The first time being on a 4-inch 586 no dash I no longer own. About 4 years ago, I actually shot the brand new 686, the .6 model, and to begin with, the trigger was pretty gritty in both double and single action, but after about 90 rounds, it broke in very well, and on single action, it had a hair trigger. How about I reassemble it now? Of course, performing function checks along the way to ensure all is assembled correctly. Now, while I wouldn't pass on a new 686 or any of the newer Smith & Wesson revolvers, if I had the opportunity to buy an older one, I definitely would. And the main reason for that is I just prefer the older revolvers. Slide the yoke over the ejector rod and insert it to the frame. Now, I close the cylinder, then insert the screw so I can set the revolver on a flat surface and then tighten it accordingly. One I really would like to get is a Smith & Wesson model 27-2 with a 3.5-inch barrel. The 27-2 being the next frame size up, the 686 is the L frame, and the 27-2, or any 27 for that matter, is the N frame. Along with the 27, I would like to get the Model 29. Yes, the same type revolver used by Clint Eastwood as Dirty Harry Callahan. Of course, the difference between the Model 29 and 27 is the Model 29 is a .44 Magnum. I will say the 686 is far more accurate than I'll ever be, but then again, I'm not trying to put the bullet through the same hole. Not bad for 7 yards. If you are looking to add a 357 Magnum to your collection, Smith & Wesson's 686 will not disappoint. There's the target many people are probably familiar with. Again, not bad, but then I hit him in the wrist. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, click that bell icon to be notified when I post new content, leave any comments in the section below. I enjoy reading those, and have a good day. See ya!